I think we're up. We are up live. See how this works. We are streaming. Give people a chance to wake up and realize the world's about to get fun here, isn't it?
Oh, it's going that way. I just realized it's only been 15 days since the troubles in Europe. I thought it was already into like the next week. I thought it seems like it's been going on forever.
What's that, though?
Ukraine.
I know. It's interesting. It really hasn't been going on very long at all, has it?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we are working our way back for another episode of This Week at SecureIt, or whatever you want to call it. We're just going to kind of mosey into the show a little slow, give people a chance to get their computer squared away. And comment if you have questions at all. We are here to always like to answer questions, debate issues, topics, anything. Hey, Kevin, good to see you, man. Hope life is treating you well these days. So let's jump right in. Something I wanted to address is off topic for us a little bit, but I've seen this. I drive an F-250 with a diesel engine, and I tow farm equipment around and do stuff once in a while where I need that kind of a truck. So I'm a member of a 250 group on Facebook, and everybody's bitching about gas. And I see it in other areas too. And I see a lot of people bitching about the oil companies, all bitching on the oil companies and raising prices. I'll tell you what, guys, look, they can make a profit. That's what they want to do. Level of competition in oil is high. I mean, if Shell is 3 cents a gallon cheaper and Mobil's across the street, people are going to go to Shell. However, people should understand oil companies want cheap gas. They do not want $5, $6 a gallon gas. They make their money on volume. They're making pennies a gallon. They want to move gallons. There is a push to get America to electric cars. Having high fuel prices is going to accelerate that move to electric, because there's a lot of people who are looking at cars right now, and you're looking at $5-6 a gallon for gas, and you decided it's time to get a new car. You bet they're looking at electric, and a year ago they weren't. So when you see people bitching about the oil companies, when high prices, just remember they want cheap. They want cheap gas. They want to make their 3-4 cents a gallon and just move as much as they can and keep America on gas. I do think that there are people in the administration that want $7 a gallon gas because they want to get America off of fossil fuel. They believe the only way to do that is to push the gallon price of gas up so high that people have no choice. The problem with that is you are crushing the middle class, lower middle class, poor people. It's devastating to someone whose gas tank goes from $35 to $135 to fill up when I started life off paycheck to paycheck, working some minimum wage jobs, working on farms and stuff. I'll tell you what, stuff like that affects people. So anyhow, that was my non-SecureIt point for the day. I do think fuel prices are going to be high for a while. I hope they come down. And I hope that I'd love to see our administration do a little more to assist Ukraine. It is kind of frustrating to, a lot of talk. Meanwhile, people are dying. Russia's doing bad things. But anyhow, so Stephen, how's your week going these days?
Not too bad. Right now I'm trying to get my log on so I can actually type in some responses to this. I'm having technical difficulties, but the week's going well.
It is YouTube.
Yes. First, I had to let it convince it that it's not my son's account. So
that's funny. Hey guys, something else I want to share today. Last week we lost someone in the community that was a powerhouse. JohnBartolo died last Sunday of a heart attack. He was a force in the firearms community. He was a rising star. He did the podcast, the JohnBartolo Show. I was a guest on the show twice. In fact, there's an image of us with our gun wall behind it. We were a big sponsor of his show. And he left us way too soon. He left a young child and family. And I'm going to encourage everybody watching, Google up John Bartolo Show podcast and listen to some of the episodes. The guy did an amazing job. He was an amazing marketer, and he really he was pushing hard for this industry to change. We've got our TV show coming, Agents of Change, in July. And it was my association with John that really gave me the idea to do the show. And really, let's really push hard on where is innovation coming from? What is the future looking like? But he was a good guy. We lost him. And if you have the opportunity, take a moment, do a search for the John Bartolo Show. Listen to some episodes. I think you'll find it very entertaining. He had a lot of really neat guests on. And it's worth your time to listen to. So anyhow, the other things we're talking about today, questions I keep seeing people posting on YouTube videos, hitting me up with capacity. And I see that we've got a video ad we're running right now. We're actually doing paid advertising for one of our videos. So it's showing up in people's feeds who aren't expecting it. And a lot of people jump in really quick and they blast me on capacity for our safe. It only holds 12 guns, only holds 6 guns. It only holds 6 guns because that's what it holds. And, Liberty and Canon can say they hold 36 guns. We'll talk about that later in the show. This show, what we're going to do, I've got it set up now. I'm going to jump out into the warehouse. I've got a Liberty safe set up with one of our answer cabinets, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison and just kind of go through. It's where my frustration lies. People have beliefs because they've lived with things a certain way their whole lives. I get that. But people need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid and stop putting up with, we call it the industry's little white lie. That was how it was put to me by the head of sales at Liberty Safe when I met with them years ago. Before we went into retail, I met with Liberty to see if we could do a licensing agreement. And when I asked about capacity, their national head of sales said, well, that's our industry's little white lie. They know it's crap. It's BS. A 36 gun safe, there's no way it holds 36 guns. But if Canon says their safe holds 38, Liberty will bump theirs to 38 as long as they can fit the little W's in there. And we all do this. I don't know why, but it's probably because it happened over a long period of time. And it's slowly gotten worse and worse. Because where it is now, and I'm gonna illustrate that later on in the show today. But as a comparison, if you bought 30-round magazines, went to the range, loaded up your mags, and they only hold 22 rounds, would you accept that? Or would you go back to the store and exchange them? Would you? And if you went back to the store and they said, well, you just fit in as many as you can, it's just the way it is, would you accept it? I'm going to say you wouldn't. But in gun storage, people have accepted it. Or if you go buy a 12-pack of beer, you get home and there's 9 cans in there, I don't think you're going to accept it. But they have. And I'm not sure. I don't know when it started.
I'd be curious to see what kind of rifle they say they can fit that many in. Like, just a really straight 22, no bend to the stock, no optics, no nothing.
Well, there's, they don't. We've looked at it with lever action, the most simple Henry and Marlin lever action guns, and you cannot fit them in. There's no way to go. They've got 3 rows of 6 guns in this safe. And it's this, I don't care how small your stocks are. You can fit 36 metal pipes. And even the door won't close. We'll show that. The door won't close on anything. Like I had to put a couple of guns in the front. They're sideways. They're kind of, and the door's just hitting them when it closes. But so people out there, pose questions. Let us know what you're thinking. And 36 with no optics, mags, probably 22. You can't do it. We've tried. And I've got a 36 out there. I've got 13 guns in it. And the only way to get more in there is to actually physically jam them in. And I'm not willing to scratch up. I got some vintage guns in there. I got some nice levers, some old military stuff. And it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. What else have we got?
Looks like there's some product update questions I'm seeing a few of. Boy, they really like the lighting kits. They're all over that each time.
Is that they're in
Couple.
production right now? Are they not?
I did the smart thing and I prepared and I talked to Ron right before this. So the lights, they're looking at early May for release on those. So there was some delays because of COVID and everything, but it looks like early May is when it's going to be released on that. And the other update is last week I was completely wrong on the pistol pegs. It is a brass insert that's going to be threaded in. So,
nice.
Ron was not pleased with me after I got off, so I'm like, all right, let me sit down with you before I go on and get some updates on that.
Yeah, we like to throw Ron under the bus here a little bit, but he's the firecracker of product development. And also, I wanted to let everybody know we've got Sergeant Mulcahy joining us today. Sergeant Mulcahy is our cardboard cutout. We've had him in the company since 2008. I was at a trade show in DC area, and a gentleman named Ken was working for us, and we were parked in a parking lot. We'd walk to the show, and there was a recruiting station right there in that parking lot. We just poked our head and say, hey, and just see how the guys were doing. And this cutout was sitting there in the office, and we're walking out, and Ken looks over his shoulder. He goes, hey, guys, can I take this? And they were like, sure. So he took it, put it in the back of the truck. We brought it here, and he gets set up around the office for a long time. People would set him up in the evening, so people would walk in the morning. He'd scare the crap out of people. And then
it ultimately cost him his legs.
Yeah, it cost him his legs. Frank got mad and what did he do? I don't remember. He kicked him or did something.
He tore it in half because it was two different sections and tossed him in the dumpster. But I snuck out there and salvaged what I could of him. So the legs were too destroyed, but we still have his torso.
That's really funny.
It's still useful to startle people. Just got to be a little more imaginative now.
That is true. I'm just taking time. You're reading some. Yeah, Berto. Yeah, the cardboard guy. We just explained that, and good to see you're on board today. Hope your day's going well. Any updates regarding? Oh, interior lights. Same question I just asked. Okay. Maybe they deem a gun to be a handgun. Yeah, 36 handguns into a safe. That could be. I really don't know, but it is kind of crazy. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to hit the big studio. As you can see, we're slowly getting the studio put together. It's been a work in progress for the last month and a half, and recording the studios like this are kind of like train sets for kids. You just slowly keep adding bits and pieces to the system as you slowly build it. And I think half the fun is building the damn thing as opposed to actually using it. But we got a lot of people asking questions today. We're going to have to actually get to a point where we have a moderator and do that. We're as a remote company, we never know who's going to be in the office. And today we've got 3 of us in here, and some days there's a lot more. Will the handgun cabinet mount to the top of the Agile? It could. It's not what it's designed to do. The Agile the handgun storage is going to be designed really to mount to. It'd be easier to mount to the side of the cabinet, I would think. It's really designed to mount next to your bed, mount on a wall, mount in a cupboard, mount in a closet, mount in a cabinet. Kitchen cabinet inside is designed to go against a wall. So it's not going to go on top. We are talking about, is Ron working? I know we've talked about putting a lockbox that goes in between stacked Agiles or something like almost like a hotel safe type, small for ammo or a couple guns.
He's working on that one right now. Right now it's mostly lights, the pistol case, and the pistol pegs. Yeah,
and mag storage. We just pinged him on that today.
Yeah, but that one's super, super early. So he said, shh, don't talk about that one.
Really? So magazines. No, and also want to shout out to Janet. Janet from Another Planet is our office manager, bookkeeper extraordinaire, and we give her a hard time sometimes, but she busts her ass. She's been with the company for a long time, and it's
7 years.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
7 years, right about now.
Okay. So I give her a hard time sometimes, but she's part of the fabric of this company that keeps things going. It keeps me in line, we'll say. Mag storage is a must. It is. We've got our mag storage bracket. We've got one. It's 30 round magazines. What it's designed for. It doesn't really fit AKs, does it?
No, it won't fit AKs or AR10s. So it's pretty much just AR-15.
So what we're looking at is just a very simple little box that'll hold 4 magazines. Everything we do, at the end of the day, the simplest solutions are the ones that withstand the test of time. I always tell everybody, you look in a junk drawer in your kitchen. Every kitchen has a junk drawer. In it, you've got a pair of pliers, a hammer, maybe a screwdriver, simple tools, solve the most problems. Our mag storage solution will be a very simple box. I think we've got these. These are trays that we use.
Yeah, come back up to your mic.
I'm blocking myself, huh? Yeah. We use these in the military a lot for gear. There's a lot of things that fit in these. You can put magazines in them, but they just tip over. It's not the best solution. We're looking at something like this, only shorter and a lot taller, so it'll hold 4 or 5 magazines per box and be flexible. It'll hold a lot of other stuff as well.
And Ron actually wanted me to put out one thing. We were curious on how our customers are using our current mag holder, because you can put it in different configurations with magazines up, sticking out towards you in various ways. So, if you guys take photos of your magazine holders and send it to me at support@secureittactical.com, and I'll get those over to Ron. So,
yeah, that's right, because that thing will go like every which way. But
yeah, and it's something he was just curious about to see how the customers liked it. So, if we make any changes, he can incorporate it into that.
Marvelous. We've also got, I see AR10 mag storage would be useful. I've got a couple of 3 or 4 AR10s. I've got 6.5 Creedmoor. It shoots out of a Stag 10. And I've got a 300 Win Mag, a Petra. And I use the plastic bins for those magazines. And for me, I like it. It's not organized storage, but they're big. And for me, I just use the plastic bins. It seems flexible and simple to use.
Yeah, I actually use one of our rifle and gear shelves for my Gunsight Scout magazines, because I only have a couple of them. So I just set them up on there, which that's a 308.
Yeah. Handgun racks, not ranks. There must be a typo in another question. Yeah. That sounds like me. That's
and I can get him that answer, because I know they take.
I got busted today for a typo on a video thumbnail I put up over the weekend. Everybody in the company knows me as the guy that can't spell.
Oh, I thought that was me. I guess you and I won't be entering spelling bees together.
There was a question I saw earlier about suppressors, and we've sold our pistol pegs to a couple of suppressor companies. Didn't we have those guys out? I remember which one it was.
I know people use them for that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm not very familiar with suppressors, because we're in New York and we're not allowed to have anything fun. But I know some people are leery about putting the suppressors on them. Some people like to do it, and I don't know enough about the internals.
This is our 11 capacity pistol peg. These are used in military armories where we're doing, we're doing massive storage of M9 handguns. But we've done these in, I can't remember who it was, because suppressors are not legal in New York State. We don't own them. We don't get to use those. I'm hoping the laws change. But we have sold a racking solution with a lot of these pegs that were done for suppressors. I know some of the guys had said they wanted to see the pegs a lot longer, but they do sit on there, and it is something that we have used or has been used.
So we had a question on how many of our 11 peg pistol racks we can fit in an Agile 40. I just took a look at how many louvers, and you can fit 4 of them in there. So a total of 44 pistols.
44 pistols in an Agile 40. That's good to know. The 52 would probably be 1 or 2 more.
Actually,
I'm not sure.
I can tell you right now. Okay, so that has 22. So yeah, you could hit 5, possibly a 6th one if it hung down, but it could definitely take 5.
Got it. And Mike, I see your question. I recognize that last name. I'm assuming that you're related to Chris. The Baffles, yeah, touching. I don't know a lot about suppressors, but I know what you're talking about. If the suppressor was long enough, or if the peg is long enough to go all the way through the suppressor, you don't have that issue. Ours do have the soft rubber on them, but I understand what you're saying. It's I'm not sure there's a big enough market for the development cost to make something like that. I just don't know. It's something we've looked at. The other thing I'll encourage guys to look at, go online and search for test tube drying rack or test tube, and it's in medical. They make, you used to labs, stainless steel, and they've got plastic or nylon pegs on a stainless steel sheet for sliding test tubes on, so they all dry angled down.
Yeah.
And that was the very first thing we looked at for a handgun storage. And we looked back at that as something. So Google that. That might give you an idea or something that might work. So guys, we're going to play with technology a little bit today. Try something a little different. I've been learning, we're using StreamYard for our broadcasts, and I keep trying to do more stuff with it. So I thought it'd be fun. We're going to show, I've got some pictures and some things that we do, kind of take you into a peek of what we do in the military armories when we go in the military, because rarely, we can't bring cameras in for the most part. Every once in a while, there's certain projects we're allowed to photograph, but for the most part, in fact, if you're like down in CAG at Bragg, in any of those groups there, you're basically searched and you can't have anything on you when you go into some of these really secure areas. So this is what we see when we go into armories sometimes. So they were doing inventory or a site count, and those are night vision goggles that were being stored in the racks. And they had to pull everything out, lay it all on the floor. The actual door of the armory was open and stuff going out in the hallway. When this occurs, they basically have to shut the building down for security reasons. This was to do a serialized inventory where they're verifying the serial number of every component against their records. I think, how often do they do serialized inventory? I know the Marine Corps is different, but
we're once a month.
Once a month. I know the Marine Corps is more often.
Yeah, I didn't do it like that. We usually did one pile, checked it, threw it in another pile, then reorganized it afterwards.
Right. Then this is what we see all the time in weapon storage cabinets. You get into an armory, and we call it the bird's nest. When this rack was brand new, it worked fine. But as things change and gear changes and things get updated, the racks just don't adapt. And you end up with these racks with things just packed into them. There's another example. Those are all night vision goggles. Those are all, $12,000 to $20,000 a pop, and they're packed in. I see some M203 grenade launchers. That's a ODA, so that's going to be that was a SOCOM armory.
Jeez, that's brutal. It doesn't even look like they can close the door with a
No, they couldn't on those racks. So this is the old SecureIt 250 with our mobile trailer, which we drove that up to bases all over the country as a mobile showroom. We actually don't do that anymore. We kind of own the space. We just don't need to. So this is what we do when we come in. We'll renovate armories, redo the floor plan. This is a Model 84 weapon racks with some crew serve weapons and Mark 19s on the bottom, grenade launchers, 50s. And that's one of our new brackets we developed for the Marine Corps. That's labeled. The guns actually snap into that rack, so they can't, one gun can't knock another one loose. These are grenade launchers. Now this is this is a competitor's rack. Those messy racks we looked at earlier. These are Space Saver weapon racks. Now this is in Okinawa. We won this contract. It was an $8 million award to SecureIt to renovate their armories. One of the ways we won it was, typically you come in, you rip out the old weapon racks and you put in new ones. What we did is come up with a kit that allows the military and us to go into the older racks and fit them. You can see our back panel in the back of that cabinet, and it updates the old racks to our system. So our bid for this project was $8 million. The next competing bid was in $15 million. They had bids up into the $20 million range because everybody else was replacing all the cabinets with new cabinets. So the solution, it works well as long as the doors are in good shape, but we save the government, save taxpayers probably $8 million on the project. People were shocked when we won. They don't know how we were doing it because nobody had ever thought, make a simple upgrade kit for existing racks. And we're looking at rolling this out now into Big Army, Navy, just across the military as a solution. You're saving on renovating an armory. You're 70 to 90% less than going in and replacing all the racks. This is the same system. These racks have all been upgraded. This is out in Okinawa. And then what we do is modular drawers. We saw that rack earlier, had all all the crap packed in it. We come in with desks with they're workbenches with modular drawers. Foam is cut, so all the pieces fit in. All the serial numbers are lined up sequentially. The slot where the piece goes in is numbered, and it matches the piece of equipment. Those are PEC 2s, PEC 3s, IR illuminators, and the other ones look like I'm not sure, it's a little RCO or some sort of a little optic.
I can tell from here.
Yeah, the military just love this whole solution because it just doing inventory. You just open the drawers, you know right away if something is missing. And then we did a crew serve system with cases where the 50 and barrels go into transport cases when they're debarking, if they're going to deploy, and all the cases are stored in the armory and on racks. And this was a huge change. We walk in and these places are just a mess, like the messiest garage you've ever seen. And when we get done, these guys are organized, clean, and things work a heck of a lot better. And this is a mobile aisle system. So I threw the slide in there. Pretty interesting solution. What we do is put our weapon racks on carriages, and there's a track embedded in the floor. We cut into the floor. So the carriages all close, and you create an aisle wherever you need to get to the guns. And what it does, it allows you to store 10 times as much material in a space because there's no aisles. Everything collapses down into a little cube. This armory is one mobile aisle system. This armory had 18 systems. It's hard to see how long this system is. It's the largest, to our knowledge, it's the largest single armory in the world. It's $3.2 million in Model 84 weapon racks. I'm not going to go into where it is or who has it, but it was a huge project. Dump this off. Boom. So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of show you guys kind of what we do on the military side, because we're very in this show and our publicly facing side of the company. It's all about consumers. It's all about getting guns stored properly, changing the way people think. But day in, day out, we spend a whole lot of time building, designing, and working on military armories. It's the core of what we do. PVS 7s, bingo. I could not think. Thank you, Eric. There's always people that know more than you. Remember that. And you don't need to know everything. You just need to know people who know everything and will give you the answer. Been there, done that. Yeah, if you're an armorer, I'm sure you have. So guys, any other questions? We're cruising. It's always amazing. You want time to go by fast? Throw on a mic, throw on a camera, go live. I am going to jump into the next piece of our technology thing we're doing today. So I've got a setup out in the warehouse that I've dialed into the show. And my plan, I'm going to see if this works. It's the first time I've ever done it. I'm going to switch over to the warehouse camera, whole setup out there. It's like a whole separate little studio setup. It'll come into the feed. And then I'm going to join you out there. And we're going to do a little side-by-side taste test with a Liberty Safe and an Answer 12. I should have audio. We should have everything working. So I'm going to flip this over. Boom. And we'll remove this. All right. Steven, I don't hear you. Do you have my audio? See if I can go, settings. Hang on one second. Just want to get my audio. Check, 1, 2. That should be working. All right, Steven, I should be on the air. So if you want to just give me a quick heads up if this thing is working. Let me know. Sound works. I've got it loud and clear. Perfect. All right, guys. So we're out in the warehouse and did a quick setup here. So I've got a Liberty 1776. And I've got 13 rifles in here. And I'm not trying to be a dickhead here or anything or trying to stuff it full of crazy guns. I've got a couple of AR-15s. I've got some vintage. I've got, Mosin Nagant. I've got some pretty stripped down rifles. But that's 13 guns in a safe that holds 36. There's no way. This last row of 6 guns, now I've got a PSL here sideways. I've got my 17 right here. Again, sideways. If you put even a lever action, if you put it in straight, it's not going to fit. It's just crap. Let me all right, so get my lighting a little better. There we are. So answer 12. Now, 12 rifles. The Liberty safe, roughly the same footprint. The Liberty's about 5-6 inches deeper. Depth in gun safes is interesting. It's really not about capacity. It's about tip over hazard. They make safes deep because the weight of the door, when this safe is open, would tip over if the safe was empty, and they don't want a little kid getting crushed or killed or anything. So they make them deep, and they load the back full of drywall to offset the weight of the door. Now, the safes are marketed. We're going to talk about this in an upcoming episode. They spend a lot of time on the doors for security. They show you all the bolts, all the things they do, plate steel, all the stuff they do for security on the doors. Thieves ignore the doors and just cut open the side of the safe. But let's talk a little bit. The SecureIt, I've got 12 rifles. I've got straight line access. Now, this is my Falcor. It's a 300 Win Mag. I've got a big Vortex or Razor on it. And our system doesn't care, my son's first shotgun, doesn't care how big the gun is. It holds 12 rifles up to a 5-inch thermal imaging optic on it. If I took some of these larger format guns and put them in this safe, this capacity would drop down to 8 or 9. As far as getting rifles out, and this is, I don't know why people put up with this. I've never owned one of these. As a youngster, I didn't have a lot of firearms. I didn't have guns when I was a kid growing up. As we got into the military and started, doing things and started getting more firearms, I used our military cabinets, in early 2000s. So I've always used a military cabinet in my house. But pulling out now, I'm gonna try to get this out. It's hard. Mosin Nagant. Everybody should have a Mosin Nagant. Now again, I'm trying to get these things out, and I'm actually damaging every time the gun touches the little plastic goo. It's kind of bending and pushing it. But again, this is a Stag 10, it's a 6.5 Creedmoor. And shout out to Stag on this rifle. I got to tell you something. For the price point, this thing's the bomb. It's extremely accurate. I put a Trigicon Credo on it for this is a low light. I use this for hunting, low light in mornings. So it's a big objective lens on it, and it's got a lit reticle. But we'll shoot a video of this thing out at the range because it is a tack driver. But what I'm really showing you is the level of difficulty. I can't even get this thing. Just trying to get these things in and out. It's just, I don't know. Why do people put up with it? I post comments on why they do. My background is not gun safes. I'm not a gun safe guy. My background is building storage for the military. And we brought that to the consumer market because it doesn't matter what I want. One arm, one gun. and it goes back in. Also, additionally, you get what we refer to as organizational awareness. When this safe is loaded up, like you can't tell in the photograph or in this video how many guns are in here. I've got a couple of ARs. They're in the back. They're short. I've got in fact, you can't even see it. I've got a little Beretta Storm in there. But you can't see all the guns. And if you got family, various people having access to your safe, something could be missing and you wouldn't know it for a month, 2, 3 months until you were digging through it. With our solution, and the military loves this, is again, you glance at it and you know if something is missing right away. You just know something's missing. Additionally, you've got the ability with the shelves and all the trays to store a ton of gear along with the firearms. I tend to drop in behind, like at my home, if I've got a couple of odd caliber rifles, I actually store the ammo right with the gun. I've got some of my larger format. I'll store cleaning brushes right behind that gun. That's the only time I use those. So does anybody else have any questions while I'm out here? I'm going to throw my glasses on so I can read. Sustained damage to a Browning Satori due to changing between long guns. Yeah, Liberty Safe. It's I read there's an article in the Truth. I think it's Truth About Guns. There was an article published a while ago talking about wear and tear. And I read the article this is before we even went into the consumer market. I was still just strictly defense. And they're talking about wear and tear, and they said the number one cause of wear and damage to firearms is going in and out of gun safes. And I read at the time, I thought, that's interesting. I wonder, I didn't deal with them. I used military cabinets, never had the issue. And we went into retail and started really kind of peeling the layers back of this thing and realized just how bad it is. Anyhow, that's the quick comparison between us and them. Now, there's people that are bashing me hard online, and you'll see some of the comments on some of our videos blasting me that it's a joke that I hold 12 guns and Liberty holds 36. I'm going to say the joke is that this thing holds 36 because I think if you really, really focused, if I spend some time, I think I could probably get 16 guns in here. And I mean, this is a pretty big format gun. I'm going to say not even using these, just using more basic. I've got muzzle loaders and some simple shotguns. But this front row is such that, like this gun, I can't even put in the front row because I can't close the door. So guys, I'm going to jump back into the studio. And this was Mobile Tom as a new exciting thing to do. So I'll be right back with you guys. I'm going to do a quick swapparoo. Get my cans on, and we'll jump back in. So, guys, that was a quick taste test of Liberty versus SecureIt. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little peek under the tent here. We're going to spill some candy in the lobby, as a good friend of mine used to say. So, we're going to have a contest. I'm not sure when. It's coming up in the next. I've got a lot of travel coming up next 3 to 4 weeks. We're going to have a contest, and you guys are all going to get to enter the contest. And the contest is, how long will it take me, to break into a Liberty safe? And we're going to do it live. We are going to put out we're putting together the how we do it part of it, the technology side of it right now. Everybody gets a chance to enter, and all you do is you just post the time that you think it'll take to, and it'll be right down to the second. And if there's a tie, we'll have some sort of a tiebreaker. And the UL RSC rating, which all gun safes are built to, guarantees 5 minutes, blocks access for 5 minutes with a hammer of less than 3 pounds, a pry bar of less than 18 inches, and a small hand drill. So that's what they're certified for. And yeah, we are going to do that as a contest. So I'm not sure how or when that's going to roll out. The grand prize for winning it will be substantial. It's going to be a fun thing we're going to do. And then coming up, we've got, we got like a foot of snow due on Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we got crazy snow coming in.
It's like
but
50 degrees out right there right now. It's nice.
So we are, as the weather warms and spring is coming, we are going to be cooking off some safes, and we're building we're going to build a room, and to mock up a room in a house, and we're going to actually load them up with temp probes, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is. I've been saying for the last several years that fire ratings are bullshit. We're going to back it up. And if I'm wrong, I will sit here and say, guys, I'm wrong. And if I'm right, I'm right. I'm doing this because I think I'm right. I look at how these things work. We've been through fire tests. We had our True Safe, which we actually cooked and did a test on it. And during the testing process, we're watching it. It became very apparent to me why these tests go so long, because we went over an hour. And they put it in an oven. They bring the temperature up to 1,200 degrees. We got temp probes in, and you wait. And the safe comes up, the temperature. We went over an hour. We didn't give the True Safe, which is available through Safe and Vault, doesn't have a fire rating per se. We just give you the graph that shows you the actual test. And it went an hour 12 or so. I don't remember the exact
Well, it
time.
came close to, I think it went close to 2 hours.
Oh, did it? Okay.
But it's the way they did the test, it actually worked against us, because if you look at the starting temperature,
yeah,
it was much higher than room temperature, and they ramped it up because
because the safe went in already hot, didn't it?
Yeah, it went in hot, and they ramped it up super slow because we did at a metal annealing place, I think we used.
Yeah,
we wanted to do it, and see what it could do, and they ramped it up slow because they weren't used to it, and just everything was against our safe, but it still lasted much longer because it's a real safe.
It is. The True Safe is double-walled steel filled with a concrete composite, and it really does work. However, during this testing process is when it really came to me why these traditional gun safe, these tests work for these companies. They're static. Temperature comes up and there's no movement of the air. If you're cooking a pizza in an oven at 450 degrees, you can open the door, put your hand in that air at 450, and you can hold it in there for a while. I mean, the air is warm, but it's not burning you. It's warm, and your hand slowly heats up. You're going to have to pull it out. Now, put your hand behind a jet engine where the exhaust coming out is 500 degrees, and just stick your hand in there at 60 miles an hour, and it's going to burn the skin off your bones in a matter of seconds. In a house fire, the air within a home, within a fire, can exceed 60 miles an hour. It can be a complete torrent. So we're going to build a block room. We're going to line it with drywall. We're going to basically build it out as best we can, and then have 2x4s as a fuel burning, and cook it. And we're going to see in a more realistic fire, I think my gut tells me they go 10 to 12 minutes. These are 1 hour safes. But I don't know. We've never done it, but we are going to do that. And then we got a couple other surprises that we're going to be doing. This is going to be out in the ranch this spring, and it's going to be a show, man. I think we're going to turn the world upside down with that. Also, we've got Agents of Change going into production. We start airing in July, and that is the people, products, and companies that are driving change and innovation in the firearms community. There's some stuff coming down the pipe here, that some technology coming into firearms that there's going to be some big changes in certain aspects of this industry. And you're going to see some companies going out of business because they got caught flat-footed and they missed it. I'm not going to spill too much candy. I want the show to be to explain it and do a much better job than me sitting here with this microphone and my headphones, or whatever the hell I'm doing. No. So guys, we've been going about 45 minutes, which is our normal run.
I did get a message from marketing. They wanted to see if we wanted to talk about our Pro and Plus kits that we have on sale now for the Agile, the Answer 12, the Answer 8. is basically if you bought
No.
one of the base models. Okay.
No.
Well, if you bought a base model, you can actually upgrade it to all the stuff that came with it if you wanted to. They're now on the website. I believe they just went on yesterday.
Okay. So we're doing kits to upgrade traditional base units.
Yeah, so if you just bought a regular Agile, you can upgrade it, or if you just bought the baseline, one of the answers.
Marvelous. Also, we are. I'm trying to get out and get more video shot. It's tough. It's not easy to create videos quickly. There's a lot more that goes into it than just turn on a camera and shoot a video. There's a lot of stuff that we want to cover, and we're making a commitment. We're actually going to Syracuse University. Their Newhouse School of Communications, one of the best communication schools in the country. I understand. I'm not a college guy. I don't know about these things, but we are looking at an intern program to bring in production people that can come and help us really put out a lot more content, a lot more often. So is the Answer 8 and 12 door organizer able to be customized? Do we have Molly for that one yet?
There is Molly on the door already. It's just a small one, but those door organizers are actually, they're glued to the pieces.
They're integrated
on there.
Yeah.
It's folded in and screwed right on. So there's not a way to change it out, but we did include Molly on there, so you could customize it a little bit.
Okay.
Just there's not a whole lot, so you get a little bit of change, but that's about it.
Is there a referral program if we convert a friend or a fried, which is also valid, to SecureIt? Maybe a discount coupon. Your timing, your question is reminds me of the fact that I screw shit up. I was supposed to talk about this and I totally forgot. In fact, I didn't even put it in my notes. Yes, we are launching a whole platform. It's going to be called the SecureIt Field Rep or Field Agent Program or Field Staff Program, where there's a lot of different opportunities because let's face it, I'll just tell you, our company is growing 30 to 40% per year. We've spent zero on advertising in the last 3 years. This growth is all because customers like you, people who get our product, show their friends. Their friends say, "Oh man, I really like the way that works," and they buy it too. So we want to create a program, field staff program, to give people the tools they need to better represent the brand, and then give them an incentive to do it. There's going to be a SecureIt field staff logoed clothing coming out. We got a lot of stuff happening like that. Part of bringing on Chris Penbianco as our chief marketing officer is getting a lot of this done. And we've been without that position filled for too long. And it was problematic, but it's coming. So yes, the question is, yes, we just set up, we signed contracts with several organizations to put this together. It's going to be a simple program, but to actually have the logistics in place to track it. And that's the issue, is you're tracking performance across the digital landscape does require significant technology and technology investment, but we've done it. We've signed contracts with some outside companies, and I don't know if there's who in marketing is watching the show can give me the date of when we're planning on going live. I think things are going to be rolling out in the next couple of weeks, but just stay tuned. Sign up for our email program. We don't send out a bunch of bullshit email. Go to the website, sign up, and you'll notice. Also, click subscribe on our YouTube channel, and that's going to become more and more of a way that we communicate. We're looking at a TikTok channel as well.
TikTok, do we got to do those funky dances or something?
There's I actually have made several TikTok videos. I've got a #1 GSG or I have a TikTok handle. It's let's look it up real quick.
Well, yeah, it looks like Emily's trying to type something, so she might be answering your question.
It's num1 GSG. That's my YouTube. And what I do is, in a former life, I was a musician. I have a home studio, so I just take videos of our products and funky music and just make goofy stuff. So did Emily send us a note?
Yeah, it says we're right in the process of building the platform with our partner now.
Okay. How come I'm not seeing those notes?
Because it's in Teams to me.
Oh, all right. I'm not in Teams. So guys, look, we're going to be wrapping this thing up. It is Friday. We got a boatload of snow, foot or so. I'll get more than you will probably because I'm up in
Yeah, you're higher
elevation, and I can promise you that I will have a fire in a fireplace. I will have some sort of a bourbon or perhaps an Irish whiskey in a glass with some ice tomorrow afternoon, watching probably some college basketball. Some of the tournaments are going on, and that's kind of how we roll when it snows hard. And I'll get my wife out snow blowing because she's got to do her work. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Emily sent me another update. Says within the next month or so. Not 100% sure because she's not part of that. So she threw the other two under the bus, which I won't say their names.
Well, in all hindsight, Chris is traveling, Kevin's traveling, and Olivia, is she doing her house thing today?
She might be. I know she's off.
Olivia Card, shout out to Olivia. Olivia came to us as a temp and was a customer service, was a quiet little mouse working at her little desk. And now that was how many years ago? That was
4
or 5. She's now marketing department, kicking ass, and she just bought her first home.
Oh,
so
she is at a lacrosse game.
Oh, she's at a lacrosse game.
Yeah, apparently Emily knows everything. So
Emily does know everything.
Have Emily.
Olivia's boyfriend is a lacrosse coach. And so they're at a game, also both avid hunters. But it's really exciting. Bought their first home. We have several people. I got to tell you something. We're not a real big company, but we do a very aggressive profit sharing program. We run an open book where every month we go through the financials. We set a goal for the year. If we beat the goal, anything above the goal, a big chunk of that goes into a pool, gets divided up amongst all the employees. And we've had 3 of our young up-and-coming rock stars buy houses in the last year, right?
Yeah, there's a few. I mean,
we throw Ryan in there. He was a couple of years. That's four people buying their first homes.
But he did it in his 20s, I think.
Yeah, but I just think, our underlying core principle, if you look at core values and all that, the company is improve the lives of others. We do that by bringing a better firearm storage solution to the market, but also within the organization, when you can watch young people grow, develop, and just see the results, not just the growth and they're doing better at the company, but see the results of it in their lives. They're building lives. That's kind of what it's all about. So, man, I need a new job. Just keep an eye on us. We're hiring customer service right now. I think we've got 2 positions.
I don't know how
one
many
or 2,
it is, but I know that she's down to the final interviews.
Okay. And then going forward, we're looking for an accountant. I know that's been a challenge. But for the most part, we find really good people. It's a really cool company.
Oh, Alex says just one.
Just one. Thank you, Alex. Alex is he was our newest employee for a while.
Yeah, he's an up-and-comer.
He's customer service. Now he's going to be bonking over to sales. Marketing has been biting at him. And he will be responsible for what's going to be one badass T-shirt that we're going to print along with the rest of our logo wear. And he is a finalist in the what is Tom's tattoo going to be. I think I've got it nailed down. And I've got to find the right artist. And then I'd love to shoot a live show of getting the damn tattoo. I don't think I can do it. I'm thinking, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Alex is making me look bad. He's learning all my jobs like within a month. So
Alex has Alex, type in, when is your wife due? I know it's like this week or something. It's coming up really soon. I know.
Well, that might be a secret.
Is that a secret?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see if he pops it up or not.
So he's got a child on the way who's I thought it was like
I'm
looking at his comments. So anyhow, guys, we are going to wrap up. I've got a few things to do today, and we're going to try to get out of here a little early and beat the bad weather out.
Now, is that both of us, or do I get to sneak out early?
You always sneak out early.
You don't know I do because you're always late before me.
I think I've been here longer than you last few days. But usually if I'm here late, I'm working on I got to shoot a video. We got to turn the cameras around. And I've talked about it, but the 66 Ford Falcon project is moving along. I've got the front suspension I just got the parts in. I've got the rear. It's a 4-link rear suspension. I'm waiting on the axle to come in, and we are building a 66 Ford Falcon is a boxy, square 60s car. I think we're going to make the fast box out of it. It's going to be a 302. It's a 289 stroked out to 331. It'll be about 350 horsepower, 5-speed. I'm going to put air conditioning in it. It's something that my sanity check every day, or almost every day, I'm out there for an hour or so, working on part of the car, getting it done.
So when it's finished, what are you going to work on then?
The next project, I'm not sure what I want to do next. I'm looking at a Factory 5 kit, which I've never built a kit car. And they make it's like a 1920s pickup truck, hot rod, as a kit car, or a highboy. I just think that'd be fun. If I do it, I'm probably going to make an electric car, just to be that guy, to be a dickhead.
Now, just to be clear, your wife doesn't watch this, because I'm not going to get in trouble for encouraging you to get another car.
No. She's numb to the car. We have a I'm going to be down in Florida next week, and we will be the Elmquist Sabers are going to paint the body's in paint right now. I have a 1956 Elmquist Saber. I own 2 of them. There's only 4. They're not a valuable car. It sounds like crazy. There's only 4 of them that we know on the road. I think it's America's first, or one of the first kit cars in America. And I've got 2 of them. One will be a street car. It's got a little flathead Ford V8 in it. These are tiny cars. The second one is getting a Suzuki GSX 750 turbocharge, and I'm going out to Bonneville in 2023 for an attempt at Class J land speed record. That will be, we will have a crew with us camera-wise. We will be shooting the whole thing. SecureIt is going to be a sponsor on the car, and that will be that's going to be an exciting time, I think. But I'll shoot video and some stuff when I'm down in Florida. That's where the Sabers are right now. There's a JR Speed Shop is doing the work on the cars right now, getting the body paint done, and then the prep work on the land speed car. These guys are the pros from Dover with Bonneville and doing runs like that. So
have you picked the colors for it yet?
The street car it's called Washington Blue. If you're an old hot rodder, you know exactly what that color. It's an old blue with a cream colored stripe on it. And I don't have any pictures of the car, but I'll do that. We'll throw some in the stream.
The old Shelby had a paint scheme like that with a blue and white stripe, kind of like that.
Now the Saber looks a lot like a Shelby Cobra. It's 2/3 the size, and it's actually 10 years earlier. It's 1956. Cobra came out in 66. So it's way earlier design, but it's amazing how close the Cobra was. And some people wonder, Ed Elmquist is considered the grandfather of hot rodding. He made the very first Elmquist Engineering, first hot rod parts catalog in America in like 1931 or 30. And he built a pretty good sized business in the early days of hot rodding. When fiberglass came out as the new magic material, he came up with a body with Clearfield plastics, and it was called the Saber. And it was a kit car. You buy the body, and then you build the car. And this was the guys coming back from World War II, came back to America and said, we want sports cars. They have them in Europe. We don't have them here. And nobody was making them. The Corvette started, but it was really more of a tractor with a fiberglass body. And kit cars exploded in the 50s, and there were probably 120 companies. They all, boom, blew up thinking it was going to be the next big thing, and then they all died really quick. And the whole thing came and went in a handful of years. But I came across these cars, and I've met a lot of people in this community, and we're hoping the street car, we're hoping to have an invite to Pebble Beach, the concourse, in 2023. We're not sure yet. We're in talks with them. It's a pretty cool little car. It's a pretty rare, pretty special little car. But Alex got up his end of the month. Alex's wife is due at the end of the month. That means that Alex has been replaced by a body pillow. I know that from experience. And all right, guys, we're going to wrap up. It's almost 2:00. Any last minute questions before we power down and disengage?
I'm not sure how we can make a 52 into a baby crib. That's kind of interesting.
52 invert the baby.
Well,
don't just rethink baby storage.
I think we should probably invert the 52, not the baby.
There you go. Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, it's been another fun hour, and really appreciate everybody tuning in. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow this. We're going to be bringing on more guests as we develop our technology better. The show will be getting better. We'll be doing a lot more interesting things. The live contest, Cutting the Safe Live, is going to be that's going to be interesting. I'm a little worried about it. I mean, I've not done that before, but you know what? It's all about taking risk and being real. So I'm going to put my ass on the line, and we're going to have a contest. I don't think the safe lasts very long. I think I open it pretty quick, but we'll have a contest. The actual entries for the contest will probably start. I'd like to think in a week or two. I just don't know if we have the technology in place to actually do this. Olivia runs things like that. So I'll talk to her early next week, and we'll get it rocking and rolling. All right, guys, everybody have a great week. Be safe. Be good to each other, and spread the love on all things SecureIt and better way of storing guns. All right, guys.
Have a good weekend.
Talk to you later.
And make sure you change your batteries before you call tech support.